So I just completed the meditation and it was interesting. I still feel like I'm not necessarily seeing these things. I'm more like forcing it, like imagining it, which I suppose is a way that can get you into the right space where this will feel a little bit more external. And by that I mean that the images come to me instead of me creating them. So I guess in terms of my meditation background, I'm pretty new to it. Mostly when I meditate, I take in the information by the person leading me through it, and I visualize what I'm told to visualize, but it feels, again, more internal, like I'm generating it, instead of what I've heard from a lot of my friends who are much more advanced in their visualizations, where it feels like they're actually there, where they actually go on like these astral trips. And that's what I'm hoping I can learn to do by paying attention, by practicing. But for this go round, it was much more visual than it usually is for me. Because usually, unless I'm actually pushing these images through, what I see are the colors on the inside of my eyelids. And I watch them kind of like a pool of water or a light show almost. And I see images coalesce out of these lights. I see the lights change. And it's very interesting, but it's not what I hope to eventually be able to do with visualization. So with this time, I'm walking through my safe space, which is based on this location in the California redwoods. When I'm in this place, it's weird because at least this time I was dressed like I was on a motorcycle trip. So black t-shirt, big heavy motorcycle boots, which are terrible for hiking any long distances, and my jeans, my super sweaty, dirty, dusty jeans that feel like a second skin. And the air, that was the thing that most stuck out to me, was the feeling of the air. That didn't feel like I was forcing it necessarily, which was interesting. So I felt the sun coming down through the canopy of the trees and the breeze of the air drying sweat on my body. So it felt super fresh, super relieving as I walk toward kind of this opening of a cave where there's a giant redwood at a slant over the mouth of this cave, and there's a stream leading into it. So I hear the crunch of pebbles in the stream as I walk through it, and my door is a big, huge, massive, like oak thing. It's kind of like honey-colored wood, natural colored wood. The handle, I thought through a couple handles. So like in the movie I'm watching, the handle goes from like the curved, almost like a teacup handle, and then the picture changes to like a brass, like slender oval handle. I tried out a couple, none of them really felt right. And in the end, the door just kind of opened toward me, and I walked into a stone room. So it was shaded, it was dark and cool there, and all of a sudden I'm barefoot and I feel this smooth, worn stone underneath my feet. It actually has a little bit of a heat from the earth to it, but the whole place is cool and calming and beautiful. Overhead, it's open, so there's still the canopy of trees above me. In terms of finding kind of this amulet, this thing that you, in your meditation, you dove into the pool to find, in my room, it was a space towards the back of the big stone room, and it was almost like these little alcoves, like carved in an ancient library, little cubbies for manuscripts to be slid into. And when you were talking about finding the thing, finding this talisman, I tried really hard to imagine I assumed it would be like in a book or a box. So I'm imagining the box, trying really hard to see this box. And in the end, as much as I put the box there mentally, it just wasn't there. So I ended up putting my hand through to this little cubby in this little hole of darkness and reached for whatever item was there. Even though I kept trying to put this box there, which was interesting to me, this resistance that something that I was trying to put there wouldn't stay. It felt the whole time like I was creating this kind of by imagining it rather than seeing it. And yet when I tried to imagine the box, my mind wouldn't let it stay, wouldn't let it stand. So that was cool. And what I got out of this cubby was a small blue stone, polished, like a deep blue, almost like lapis, but it was more iridescent. In terms of looking for a word, that was another thing. I kept trying to imagine what word it would be, kept trying to think what word it would be, and no appropriate word that I kind of rifled through in the catalog of my mind seemed to fit, seemed to stick. So I just have this blue stone and no word. But the meditation was very interesting in that it got me to do a lot more catering to my senses. A lot of times meditations, they will take you through a place, but they won't ask you what it feels like under your feet or what the air is like, what sounds you hear, all those specific cues. So that was nice. But I'm still in the part where I feel like I am forcing it a little too much, that I'm creating it instead of seeing it. So hopefully, as I keep going, I will learn to, like when the box just wouldn't stay put because it wasn't there, that I will learn to be able to see things that are there instead of trying to put things there. But this was an interesting meditation, and I've done going through that safe space, the redwoods, and opening the door, but I've never actually gotten into that stone room. So that was a cool thing too. Thank you.